Why, hello, it is February 6th, Sunday morning. What a hell of a last 12 hours / first month. I had finished reading, I finished reading Slave Species of the Gods by Michael Tellinger, which was remarkable. And then I had moved on to Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Siniak. Might be mispronouncing that last name, which was a channeled book from the Palladians back in the 90s, which was very interesting. Tried to take it all with a grain of salt, but there were a lot of overlaps with a lot of the things that I've been learning about. The Palladians are generally viewed as as a benign race or species of alternate life forms or ETs of some sort that other writers have channeled in the past. And the message, by and large, was positive and laced with a little bit of the New Age stuff, but remarkable in and of itself. And fast forward to last night, I got to go see Tool perform live. Phenomenal band, one of the titans of modern progressive rock, but the message embodied in the lyrics, notwithstanding the beats and the rhythm of the music, which is phenomenal. The drummer, Danny Carey, is certainly one of the greatest modern drummers by almost anyone's standards. But the messages within Tool's lyrics, which I'm very familiar with, are riddled with spirituality and awakening consciousness and all those types of topics that I've been learning about here in the last few years. And strangely, Tool was one of two, if not the first modern rock band I ever heard as a kid, long time ago, and I was never able to put it into context. I just knew I really liked the music, and although they haven't released too much over the years, it has been phenomenal. Last night's show, it's the third time I've seen them. First two, I was not so impressed with the stage presentation, although it sounded great. Last night was incredible. The visuals they had on the 3D screen, you just have to see it. I don't even think I could describe it. And I had taken a very small dose of fungus, which left me really contemplating while absorbing the music itself. And the show was over in New Orleans, so I drove over last night, caught the show, and then I've been up all night driving back to get ready for the farmer's market. And that show would have been all by itself, just leaving me floored in terms of tugging at some of those spiritual strings, so to speak. And if you know their music, then you understand completely. And I was jumping around on Odyssey. I went back to find Mark Passio's page to see what he's transcribed over to Odyssey, because most of the stuff had been on YouTube. And I always just let it find me. Good examples of this is when I go traveling. I almost never make a plan. I buy a ticket somewhere. I have one idea of what I want to do, and I let go and let God, as the expression is. Let the adventure find me. I always stumble into phenomenal places and people, things that you could never find on a map or find on TripAdvisor, so to speak. And I'm never led astray. It's not always the most fun in the moment, per se, if things get hairy or scary, but remarkable times traveling. So I let it source the vibe, find me, carry me, and with information in terms of this spiritual rabbit hole I've been on the last three to 4 years, it pops up. So as I'm scrolling down, I see this interview Mark did recently with a man named Sethikus Boza, which I was pretty sure I had not run across him before, but when I saw his logo, it looked like something I had just seen in the last 1 or 2 weeks, but I didn't know if that was him. And this interview is basically an hour long, and I've talked about Mark. He's been my ultimate red pill in the totality of his presentation, the quantity and quality of the information is the foundation below the foundation that everyone needs to discover, listen, intuit, digest, and then, of course, third step of the trivium, take action with, which is what's really prompted a lot of my caveman car ride videos the last 6 months. This video, I mean, it's for everyone. Obviously, the information is so important, but the bulk of it is like a massive summary of the work Mark's been doing for the last 10 years. So if you're not familiar with him, it's going to seem like a lot. And Mark's work, unlike anyone else I've come across, has really either, I wouldn't say lit the fire, because the flame was already within, but poured heaps of gas on it in terms of the desire and motivation to embark on the path of the warrior, to spread truth, which is our ultimate task here, is to expand consciousness. In order to do that, you must disseminate truth as you understand it, as you come to understand it, not your perception of it, because it's subjective. As you come to understand it to the point where you can then teach it to others. And since I had done a hell of a stint listening to Mark last year, I did first 200 of his podcasts in a matter of a few months, not to mention, 40 hours worth of his presentations, including natural law, at least twice. And I was not perplexed, but kind of gut punches listening to a lot of that stuff as paradigms fall and you have to face your ego and your shadow, which luckily I'd started before all that. But after I had absorbed so much of that around podcast 200, it was kind of reaching a culmination, even though he's been continuing to put out more episodes. But the totality of his message and story kind of felt like it finished out in the 160s, supplemented with his cosmic abandonment presentation. So I had taken a break, and about the time I had put him down to digest and absorb is when he, with his presentation, he was referring to the work of Michael Taserion, who I've mentioned, who preceded Mark in his research and sharing truth. And when I got the flu du jour, flu 19, so to speak, and I was laid up, I digested a ton of Taserion's work, and that was some of the most difficult, coming to terms with the possibility of the actual origin of our race as humans. And so that was a lot. That was heavy. So when I started this interview just a couple hours ago, the amount of detailed summary, if you know his work, that he repeated, because Mark is trying to put forth this very important message of natural law and our origins and how important it is for us to desire truth, seek truth, and in the process of finding truth, then we not just discover or rediscover, then we more purposefully pursue morality. And in doing so, collectively, we generate freedom, or the inverse would be our slave-like conditions. That is the basic of natural law. I know I've prefaced that a few times. So this interview, just hard-hitting, a great refresher, pouring more gasoline on my fire to go out and spread the truth. But the gentleman that had conducted the interview, it's Black Earth Productionz with Sethikus Boza. I just went to his YouTube page and listened to the first thing that popped up of interest, and holy shit is about all I can say. I don't even know where to begin. It's just 30 minutes long. I'm only like 20 minutes into it. I understand like 5% of it, but this is a man who has been digging deep into the truth of our history, and it gets into the things, the terms and topics that most people brush off merely as conspiracy. We're talking about the deep, dark, occulted information regarding sorcery and what's really transpiring here on Earth. The terms that he's using are far more advanced than a lot of the context that Mark provides, because Mark isn't trying to lose people in the really finite details. But this gentleman is on it, and his passion in the speech, I'm just bewildered. And he has I guess an initiation school, and I am about to send him an email and inquire on that, because this might be one of the mentors, for lack of a better word, that I've been searching for in order to advance my knowledge base on truth and the real happenings of our ancient history. So, all that to be said, what a show. I've been up now for 27 hours. Gotta pack up some more bone broth. Go to the farmer's market. Cheers.